Hi, it's Michael Angelo Caruso. I am a fan of short cuts. Uh, Come to think of it, I've never even heard of a long cut. We all like shortcuts, though. We like them at work. We like them in life. We like them in when we're trying to achieve project efficiency and that sort of thing. And so I wrote a book about shortcuts. It's actually called Work Hacks: 300 Cool Ideas to Speed Career Success. And I want to share with you 5 cool ideas for dealing with critics right now, because we all have critics. None of us like this idea that we have people being critical of us, but my gosh, they're out there, they find us. And so I want to share with you my best tips for dealing with critics, because they're waiting for you every day when you go to work, every day in your condo association. We even have critics at church, right? Critics are everywhere. So here are some techniques for dealing with critics. And by the way, I grew up in the music business. I performed in a touring rock band with my brothers, and we got used to critics right away because we would be reviewed in, back then, newspaper publications, right? And people would say, the bass player doesn't know what he's doing, me, or the harmony part was out of tune, me, you know. And we got used to reading negative things about ourselves in reviews, not only about our live performances, but also about negative comments concerning our recordings and that sort of thing. And we started to understand that you didn't really take the negative reviews any more seriously than you took the real positive reviews, that people would always have a plus and a minus. They'd always have the yin and the yang about you, and that you just needed to do the best you could in any given situation. So with that as a backdrop, here's some specific advice for dealing with critics. The first one is that patterned criticism contains valuable messages. So if you hear something from somebody one time, right, it might get under your skin because of who it was or because of the ferocity of the message, but it doesn't mean that it's legitimate. But you start to hear the same thing multiple times from different types of people, then you've got to take that seriously. So the second tip is to consider the source of the critique. It's one thing if it comes from your boss, and it's another if it comes from a total stranger. So, those trucks that have the bumper sticker that says 1-800, how's my driving, right? Or there's a number that says, if you have an issue with my driving, call such and such a number. You can have your trucker's license taken away from you if you get enough of those complaints. On the other hand, everybody that looks at those complaints knows that if they're just strangers calling in, pranking you on their cell phone from their car because they're bored on a long drive, we don't take those complaints too seriously. So you have to consider the source of the complaint. The third cool idea is that anonymous critics are not worth identifying. So we'll spend a lot of time and energy trying to identify, who said that about me? I want to know who that is. Bring me his head in a basket, and all this drama. And forget about it, man. It's just one person's opinion. There are millions and millions and millions of people in the world, and it's just one other opinion, and do not let it get under your skin. It's just one person, right? You don't have to know who it is. You don't have to exact a toll from them. You don't have to get revenge. Just deal with it, that someone didn't like your stuff, right? I can tell you, as a professional speaker, when I do these big events where there's hundreds and sometimes thousands of people in the room, I can't please everybody. I'm already okay with that. And so when I do get a review that says, this guy's a little bit too cheeky for me, I'm like, okay, fair enough, good, check, move on to the next thing. Cool idea number 4 is that confrontation is your friend. Sometimes this type of negative comments about you, your product, your service, they're good. They're a good lesson for us. It forces us to confront weaknesses in our offering, weaknesses in our character sometimes. And so confrontation is a good thing, right? Confrontation when you're talking about customer service or something like this, confrontation is to customer service what antibiotic is for an infection. It's good. It's the only thing that can help it get better. And so we like confrontation when you view it as something that's helpful versus hurtful. And then finally, of course, number 5, no one can hurt you. No one can hurt you with what they say, what they do. Your reputation stands on its own. Your work stands on its own. You are good. You're a good person. You're pre-approved. Stop worrying so much about what everybody thinks. There is something positively liberating when you stop worrying too much about what other people care about you. So I hope that these techniques for dealing with critics have been useful to you. You can get all 70 plus of these topics in the Work Hack books at my website, which is michaelangelocaruso.com. You can also purchase on Amazon. It's available in Kindle as well. Thanks very much for listening. We'll see you down the road.